Hey everybody, we are back in the Little Shop of Hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. My name is Chris. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am a part-time reseller and we are going to pull some items, some great items that sold for me on eBay and Poshmark. I also want to go over the process real quickly of how it is I determine the price on my items. I'm going to specifically look at a clothing item, a kind of higher dollar one, and we'll see what factors go into me making a determination of how much I'm going to charge for it. So stick around after the intro song. We'll go over those orders. We'll talk about how I price that item.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
Once again, thank you to my member HarleyGal143. And if you are interested in becoming a member of the channel, please click the join button down below. I had a great sales weekend. Sales for February are continuing to be just super, rock solid. I'm very excited. Hopefully this momentum can pull through the entire month, because if so, I'm not going to try and jinx myself, but I am already definitely on the path to having a record sales month. So that's great. First item I'm going to pull is indicative of how well the sales are going. I put off listing this for quite some time, and this also, to be honest, kind of factors into the pricing conversation that we're going to have in a little bit, because some of you may have, if you use this one particular strategy, you may have prices quite a bit different than what I did. So this is the item that sold right here. This is a Sanyo monitor, old vintage monitor from, I think, 1979. This, the model is on the back there. I hope that will focus. It says VM4209. Manufactured June 1979. So this I found at my local thrift store for $11.99. I thought it was just an old TV. It's not in pristine condition, I think, not positive, but I think there were some knobs that went there, like little silver knobs that would help you change those, but you can still just do it with your hand like that. But it powers on, and I don't have a cord to hook this up, but this monitor was designed to be used with the old, like, original Apple I computer from the 70s. So for folks that are big into vintage computers, vintage computing, this is kind of a must-have for if you're going to use your Apple I computer. At least this similar ones like this. I don't know if this is the only one. I doubt it is. I'm sure there are others. But I picked that up for $11.99. I plugged it in, showed that it was, turned on. I took a picture of it on. It's just a kind of a bright white screen. And that was enough to sell it for $249.99 plus $40 shipping. I wanted to charge extra on shipping because I didn't know where it was going to go. I'm going to double box this, wrap it really well with multiple layers of big bubble wrap, because obviously don't want that to break. But just real quickly on the pricing aspect of it, when I went to list this item, there were no others listed. There are, I think, 3 others that had sold in the last 90 days. I want to say one was maybe a parts only, or there was something kind of wrong with it because it was in the $100-ish range. And then the other 2 that were working in the same similar condition as mine, both sold for right around $199 or $200. But when I went to list mine, I saw that I was the only one that was going to be listing one. As soon as my listing went live, that was the only one available on all of eBay. These are not super common. So I went ahead and said, supply and demand. The demand is going to be there. The supply is non-existent except for mine. Why not go a little bit higher? So I upped my price to $250, $249.99. I didn't have offers turned on, and I took a risk. The worst thing that would have happened, I'd already been sitting on this in my death pile for probably 6 months or more. So it wasn't like I needed to have that money right away. So I was okay with bumping up the price, because there were no, if somebody wanted to buy this, I don't know where else they could have gone other than mine. Maybe there's some sort of Facebook forums or things like that where they might be selling stuff like that, but I just knew the supply was super low, and maybe only mine, that was available out there. So I took a chance. And like I said, worst case scenario, it didn't sell. I would have just lowered the price or turned on offers. But it worked out for me. I got my full price for it in only about a month. It's about a month from the time I listed it to where it sold. There were a bunch of watchers on this, probably 6 to 8 watchers, and I held out and it worked. So that's one strategy to use for pricing. Somebody might have, and I also almost was this person. I almost just said, oh, the market kind of says that based off of the previous sales that $200 is what I should price this at. But I took a chance and I bumped it up. So neither one is right or wrong. Some people might say I'm a little bit greedy, and maybe I am. Maybe I am a little bit greedy by pricing it up like that. But I think it's okay. Because there's some risk that's going into me selling this, because who knows if it's going to arrive in good condition. I did say it's as is, but they could still return the item, so we shall see. We go from that really nice high dollar sale to one that is just kind of a throw-in. I bought this lot of like makeup related or personal care related items, and this just happened to be in it. It's not why I bought it at all, but it cost me about 50 cents. It's this Jergens Natural Glow. It's like a self-tanning lotion kind of a thing. $10.99, free shipping. But you know, I could have just re-donated it or threw it away, I guess. But I went ahead and just listed it, and it sold, I think, before any of the other things that I bought in this lot have sold. I don't think anything else has. So this actually will get my money back because I spent about $4 on the entire lot. Cost me about $4, or no, probably $5-ish to ship that. We're going to talk about this next sale, and then we'll go even further, deeper dive into the topic. So I have mentioned several times that I am sourcing things on Whatnot, or I have in the past sourced things on Whatnot, mostly shirts, a few other, mostly clothing, a few other items here and there. And this next item is one of the shirts, the t-shirts that I sourced on Whatnot. I ended up buying this shirt for $1. That included the shipping. It's a Modern Monkeys t-shirt. You can kind of see it in here. I will show you a better picture on my phone. Right there's what it looks like. This is actually the cover of More of the Monkeys album, but it's just a semi-modern t-shirt. I didn't know exactly what it was I was bidding on, but I bid $1. I didn't know if it was an old shirt, if it was new, so I took a risk knowing that it was just $1. Turns out it was a pretty modern shirt, not a lot of value, and after doing a little bit of research, Monkeys, the band, the Monkeys, their merchandise, their t-shirts, not huge sellers to begin with. So when I went to comp this, I couldn't find this exact shirt. There were others that were similar, like this one doesn't say More of the Monkeys on there, even though that's what this picture is from, is that album cover, but there are a few other shirts that did say More of the Monkeys on there. So I knew that it was in this style, but there weren't any exact comps. I want to say, I'm just going to use kind of hypothetical numbers, but they're very accurate to what was the reality at the time. I want to say there was something to the effect of 60 t-shirts listed and about 8 to 10 that have sold. So not a great sell-through rate. Not completely non-existent, but certainly not great. I don't want to sit on these t-shirts for a long time. I don't think any of us really want to sit on our inventory for a long time. So when I decided to, what my theory was, or the strategy that I was going to use when pricing this is, what's going to make my listing stand out? It's not the subject matter, because it's, there's 60 other Monkeys t-shirts that are listed. It's not necessarily the graphic itself, because there were other shirts that had the similar, pretty much the exact same graphic. So the only real thing that I could do was distinguish myself through price, and that's what I did. I priced it aggressively at $12.90 free shipping. So it's going to cost me about $4.75 to ship it. So let's just say $5. So we've gone from 13 down to 8, $1 cost of good, basically another $1.50, $1.50 or $1.75 in fees. So we're looking at maybe making about $5 on this shirt. Best case scenario, I probably could have priced this at something to the effect of $15 to $16 plus $5 shipping. Okay, let's say I had priced it at that. When the item finally sold, I would have made probably six to seven more dollars. But more than likely, what would have happened is that shirt would have sat unsold in my inventory for months and months and months until it went on sale. And yeah, I eventually sold it for this price, right around what I sold it for, which was $13, free shipping. So I decided, let's just ignore all that. You know, I mean, sure, there's also a chance that I could have sold it at $15 plus $5 shipping. But again, the chance, I'm just going off of what the odds are, what the chances are. So that's why I said it was a gamble when I bought the shirt to begin with. The gamble didn't really pay off, so let's just cut our losses and try and get something out of it. And that's what happened. That's why I priced this at $12.90. Let's look at an example where there's a little bit more payoff. This still is not a great gamble that I took because I ended up I just overpaid for this. I bought this item, I think I paid $36 for it. More than I would have liked. But this is what it is. I haven't actually listed it yet, so I'm getting it ready to. I will actually list it today. So this is it is technically a vintage Grateful Dead t-shirt. It is from 2000. It is on a Liquid Blue tag. So Liquid Blue is the company that made it. And for those of you that are t-shirt collectors or you know anything about t-shirt sellers like me, that one is one of the better companies to print the Grateful Dead shirts. Collectors like that company more than a lot of the others. This has some condition issues. There is a pinhole right there, but there are no stains. Other than that, everything else is in pretty good condition. So these are the things I'm going to look for when I go to list this item. I'm going to look up Liquid Blue, Grateful Dead. This is the Watchtower. That's what this graphic is depicting. So Grateful Dead, the Watchtower, Liquid Blue, 2000. Okay, so I'm going to use those words for my search criteria when I go and try and find this particular shirt. All right, so I'm going to look up that criteria on eBay right now. Forgot to mention another factor, and this is the size of the shirt. The bigger the size, the better, as long as it's not, like a 6X or something. This is a size large, so I have to take that in consideration. If it was a size small, that would certainly decrease the price that you could ask for it. All right, so we can see we have 7 listed. It's interesting. So right here, you always have to be careful of this. So this is basically the exact same criteria that I talked about, other than this is a size medium. But if you look at it, you can see right here, that is not a tag, that's a print label on it. So this is a reprint of this shirt, done much later than 2000. So they're asking $50 for that shirt. They're not going to come anywhere close to that. We have one here that's a medium, that is $30. And then we have, again, these are new, it says, new other, $37.99, $34.99. But if you click on the listing, again, they have the printed label on here, the screen printed label, not the actual tag label. Same with these down here. So the only potential one that isn't screen printed is this one. But again, you look at it and no tag, screen print. So we have no comps using the search criteria. Nothing is similar to it. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the solds. So we have one here, vintage 2000s extra large, worn, it says. So this one sold for $30. We're going to click on it, and you can see the collar is all jacked up there. Definitely got some condition issues, like really bad condition issues. Sold for $30. Okay. This one is the exact one I have, okay? Got the liquid blue tag. Probably in a little bit better condition than mine. It's the size large, but because it doesn't appear to have any issues. It says it has a small spot on the back near the neck. So this is the back of it, by the way. It's super cool shirt. They sold it for $29.95. Okay, so you're thinking, wow, Chris, you are on the path to losing money. Let me just do this. Let's sort. All right, so I just realized something. I just went through all this, and for some reason I had Watchtower in my head. I guess I have Jimi Hendrix on my mind. It's a lighthouse. It's kind of clearly a lighthouse. I mean, a Watchtower and a lighthouse are similar, but I was using the wrong search terms. So we're gonna go ahead and I'll show you what I am competing against with the proper search terms using, which is lighthouse. All right, so we have 27 results. The highest is $145 plus shipping, and the lowest, which again we have these reprint, not actual 2000 shirts, are much higher, a much lower price. So we're looking at, so the only ones we really have that are direct matches in terms of a size large is this one right here, $145. This is an extra large, this is a double XL, and this is a new old stock extra large, but I don't really know if that's accurate. Okay, so we don't really have great comps on this. I guess there's this one down here. What's this? This is $70, but that's an extra large. So the price does go down quite a bit. So let's go to the solds here. Right now, the highest is $54.95, free shipping, okay? So if we're to look at this, you know, it's an extra large, but everything else about it is the exact same. There are no major issues or flaws, so it's probably the closest comp in terms of what's actually sold. So when I go to list this, this is not at all the same scenario as the Monkeys t-shirt. Number one, I paid way too much for this, so I'd like to try and get not only my money back, but somewhat of a profit. We have one that sold for $55 free shipping, so in theory I could list mine for $50 plus shipping, because I very, very rarely do free shipping. I just don't like it. And after selling that, I'll make a tiny bit of money. But when I go to list mine, the only real close comps are in the $75 to $145 range. So I'm going to list mine. There's one at 75, there's one at 85, and 145. Those are exact comp large short sleeve shirts. I'm going to go right at, it's probably $70 or $80. I'm going to look at the $75 comp. I'm going to look at the listing for $75. I'm going to see if it has any flaws. If it doesn't, then I'm going to put it at 70. If it does, then I'm going to put mine at 80. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try and compete directly against that comp, that listing, because in my mind, that's the one that I need to compete against. Okay, so let's look at it. It would be helpful if I could read. The one that was 75 is, first of all, $70, and it's also an extra large. So the only other direct competition is this large that's $85. Okay, so in my mind, this is my only competition. When I go to that listing, it says there are no major flaws on it. So when I look at it, they have two pictures. Okay, right here, this listing has two pictures. So how else can you compete against this listing besides just price? Pictures. If I take 6 to 12 pictures and just show all sorts of different angles. They have no measurements shown in the photos. The only measurements they show are 29 inches long by 23 inches wide. So this is how I'm going to compete against that. Even though that shirt is $85, it has no flaws, I'm going to list mine for $75. I'm going to take pictures galore on it, 10, 12 pictures. I'm going to have nice, clear measurements, and I'm going to outlist that person. All right. So am I going to sell it immediately because of that? Probably not. It still is going to take a while, but that one I'm willing to sit on because it's a great subject matter. There's not a lot of competition out there in terms of like for like, and I pay too much, so I want to actually make it worth my while a little bit. So I was literally thinking out loud as I was going through this process. I had not done any pre-research on this other than when I comped it like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So it probably was a little jumbled, a little confusing, and I apologize for that, but that's the actual process. You and I were going through that process together. That's the process that I use in my brain when I'm going through trying to figure something out. I try and find as an exact comp as I possibly can. When you have a rare item like this, it can be more difficult. If it's just a pair of shoes, Nike shoes where there's 4,000 similar models, it's going to be a lot easier to find an exact comp. But this one is a little bit more rare, so a little bit more difficult. But I hope that was helpful in showing you how I go through the process of coming up with a price for my listing. So let's go ahead and pull the Poshmark orders that sold for me. I had a couple of good orders on here. I picked these New Balance up at Goodwill, and I paid $19.99 for them, which I wasn't super pumped about, but they were new without the box right here, and they happen to be a model that is still quite in style. These are, can't remember what they are, New Balance 327s. So I paid $19.99 and they sold for $78 on Poshmark. I took an offer. You can see right here, just not worn at all. Kind of crazy looking, in my opinion. The sole halfway up the back heel is weird to me. Some people are into it, obviously. But those sold in maybe 2 weeks. So a very, very fast sale on that one. This one here took quite a bit longer. And I don't remember where I got it, but it must have been at some sort of maybe a church rummage sale, or probably more likely a garage sale. It is this vintage Eddie Bauer down vest, probably from the late 90s would be my guess, maybe early 2000s. It is something I paid $2 for, and it's not in pristine condition. There's some dirt marks here and there, but that sold for $40 plus shipping. Took a little bit of time, like I said, maybe 3 months-ish, but really good profit on that one. $2 into 40, so it's kind of funny how that works, and it makes perfect sense to me. So I spent $20 on these shoes, and I sold them for $78. So my earnings off of that are $62.40. So I made $42.40 off of these shoes, minus all the other, taxes that I'm going to have to pay on it and stuff like that. $42.40. But those sold in about 2 weeks. This Goose Down jacket, I only paid $2 for. My earnings off of it are $29, so I made $27 off of it. But I had to wait many, many more months. So that's why I'm willing to spend $20 much more on a pair of shoes like this, because even though, in all honesty, the earnings were quite similar between the two, I just sold the shoes so much quicker. So that's what goes into my mind when I decide to make a purchase like that. I had these shoes way longer than I wanted to. I thought they were going to be much, much quicker of a sale, but the problem is I just priced them way too high. It's a nice pair of Allen Edmonds I picked up for $7.49, I believe. Yeah, because they were half off at Goodwill. These are the Cornwallis model. That's one of the things I love about Allen Edmonds is as long as they're not super worn, which if they are, I'm not going to buy them to begin with. But they put the models inside the insole. They put the model name. So you can see right there it says Cornwallis. Just makes comping in so much easier. So thank you, Allen Edmonds, for doing that. But those sold for $50 plus shipping. They are in quite nice condition. But I originally had them priced too high. I think I had them priced at $90. And, you know, these are new. They're $200. Eventually, they were in a 25% off sale, so they're down to like $61. And then somebody offered me $50. I mean, I paid $750. And $750 into $50 is well worth it. I probably should have just priced them closer to that in the beginning. A really nice sale there. And then we, two more left. This one, when I saw these, I was like, oh, quantity listing. This will be great. It's just funny because, but I know these are not going to be quick sellers. The good news is I've already made all of my money back. So I spent $4 for like probably, or maybe it was $6. Spent $1.99 for per bag, and I think maybe I bought 2 bags or 3 bags. I can't remember, and they're about 20 each of them. So let's say there's 60 of them. It's just a kind of a cheesy, cheap little keychain multi-tool. So this says Subaru, whoops, sorry, it says Subaru and then SubaruNorthwest.com on there. Probably some sort of local giveaway for, you know, Northwest Subaru car dealerships. But it's a keychain with a pocket knife and like a file and nail clippers. I have these listed for $8.99 free shipping. And I sold one. So already made my money back on the whole lot. I have approximately 50 to 60 more to sell. I will probably sell about 2 a year, maybe. But I don't know, maybe, I mean, I sold that one in a month, so maybe I'll sell 12 a year. They're kind of cheap. Well, they're not kind of. They're very cheaply made, and so I just thought, you know, maybe somebody who is a Subaru fan, somebody who's looking for a gift for somebody who is a Subaru aficionado, somebody like that, that's who's going to buy that item. So we'll see. Last sale of the day, I was at an estate sale, and it's kind of overpriced. There just wasn't a lot, so I saw this for $2. And I said, sure. It's a pair of Deep Sea, S-E-E, like scuba shoes, reef boots, boots that you wear to go scuba diving, essentially. And those took a long, long time to sell, and they sold for $14 plus shipping. So just took too long. I thought the sell-through rate would have been better on that. I originally had them listed for 20, but can't remember if I think somebody sent me an offer for 14, so that is how they ended up finally going out the door. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope when I go to edit this video, I'll be able to piece together my stream of consciousness thoughts into something that kind of makes sense and is not too jumbled. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to get more of my videos in your feed in the future. Good luck with all of your reselling ventures out there. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.